So welcome everyone back to game 2 of this best of 3 between Microsoft One and Capital One Blue. Capital One Blue is on the blue side this time, and Microsoft One, they are on the red side.
Yeah, actually color coordinating ourselves this time around, so it's a little bit easier for you guys.
Yeah. Capital One Blue on the red side. They're going really hard. Capital One Blue on the red side. Oh, man. But yeah, so these picks have changed a bit. This time we see the Azir on the side of Capital One Blue. They've learned the power of Brosef's Azir, and they are definitely fearing it right now. Though the Kog'Maw,
definite respect ban.
Yeah, and it looks as though eBay is just not happy on the Maokai, so instead he bans it for himself. He doesn't want his team to force him on that champion. But then insta-locks the Thresh, and now the Rengar onto Yururu. Now, we saw a Rengar previously. I believe it was Diodiesel. It wasn't really impactful, that game. Let's see if Yururu can show Diodiesel how to play this champion.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that last Rengar that we're referring to in the previous game, go ahead and check them out on either of our two channels. It was a glass cannon Rengar that went pure damage, and the question really becomes, do you go for that sort of all-in style of Rengar, or especially if you do initially start going after that Rengar ended up falling behind in kills. So at what point do you abandon the all-in glass cannon style and just switch to going raw tank to try and still have some utility for your team to be able to dive in and start off an engagement?
Yeah, and so far, we can talk about these other picks. Vladimir Vayne. So Capital One Blue really looking for the late game this time, but likewise, Microsoft, they're going to try and race them to there. This is just going to be two huge late game compositions clashing together, and I think this game is going to rely a lot on who gets the better engage off. It's obviously going to be Capital One Blue because their team composition just allows so much better engage. I feel as though Microsoft One, they're going to rely a little bit more on getting picks and then turning the picks into the team fight.
Absolutely. If they can, I'm actually surprised to see Rengar in this composition as opposed to a Gragas. Gragas feels like it would meld much better with this composition that, as you said, is oriented on creating an initial pick of an engagement. Rengar, of course, can certainly do that. If there is any sort of mispositioning there, he can, of course, just jump right onto a squishy and immediately annihilate them. But with that Lulu, she's going to be able to shield up whoever he hops onto. Especially if it is a Vayne, she'll be able to tumble away as long as she isn't locked down by that net. So we'll have to keep a close eye on how this turns out.
Yeah, I'm kind of sure. Do you know when the Rengar was actually selected? Was it first or was it later on? I feel because
good question.
Yeah, I feel as though
Stream. You were there with us. Stream.
Oh man, I was too preoccupied telling my life story.
Yeah.
But I never.
I'm also interested in seeing if the red side anticipated that it is in fact going to be a Lulu mid Vlad top. That is something that could be flexed.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, with the Vladimir having the teleport, it does make me think that it is going to be a Vladimir in the top lane. It's not uncommon to see Vladimir in the mid lane, but they usually don't run teleport.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we as the casters, of course, saw beforehand with these summer spells available that is going to be Vladimir top, but certainly might be playing a little bit of mind games in the heads here of the red side team.
Yeah, definitely. I feel as though the Vladimir may have been the right choice to send against the Hecarim, because for Cassiopeia, you really just want to just deny her as much as possible to slow down that late game power spike that she's going to be hitting, and the best person for that would be the Lulu.
Yeah, absolutely. And another pick that I'm curious about is that Caitlyn pick. She's, of course, going to be able to dish out a lot of consistent damage, but with a team that is so oriented on really punishing positional errors, I'm actually surprised to see the Sivir not being locked up for this team. Not only, of course, for that synergy with the Hecarim, but allowing Cassiopeia to get in better positions for her ultimate, allowing Rengar to find picks and create team fights that are immediately one-sided.
Oh.
Caitlyn is a bit more of a traditional pickup for a sustained team fight, so we'll see how that blends into this composition.
So I just realized that we never used our webcams. I'm dressed up for no reason. Oh man, it's okay. I'm preparing myself for further pursuits. Oh man. All right, so we've been talking a lot, but we've just neglected the chat so far. Who do you guys think is going to win this match? Is it going to be Capital One Blue on blue team or Microsoft One on red team?
Yeah, are we going to see a Game 5 or not? What do you guys think? Is this going to Game 3, or are we going to see...
You said Game 5!
1, excuse me, Game 3, yeah.
That'd be insane. Oh my god. I don't think I have it in me.
Pretty sweet.
I don't think I have it in me. I haven't eaten anything since... Well, I guess... For you, it'd be like 11 o'clock. I haven't eaten anything since 11 o'clock, yeah.
That's a bit of... Wow. How you going, man? Busy. You're a machine.
Dude, man, I've it's been like I don't know. I don't want to say I'm used to it, but like I don't eat a lot actually. To be honest, I don't. It's more that I'm trying to lose weight. But like I know people say like, oh, you're not supposed to not eat anything when you're trying to lose weight. But like I watch what I eat, and my uncle like had fried chicken, so like I didn't want that. So I blame my uncle for my starvation.
Well, it looks like with this bot lane up here on the top side to start out, we might see a lane swap coming out. Be interested to see if Hecarim does opt to start a camp here, so he'll have a little bit more time to react.
Does cleanse ignite? It cleanses the grievous wounds, but not the dot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, but not really.
Yes, fried chicken is...
What does cleanse really mean?
But yes, fried chicken is delicious. And yes, it is unhealthy. That's why I'm starving. Oh, man. So, no level ones. Again, this game. They do set a pretty defensive line of wards, Capital One. Just want to prevent Microsoft from engaging in their jungle. Forgot the overlay right there. There you go.
And we will see Hecarim starting at those Razor Beaks, so he will get an early level 2 here and be able to realize that there is a lane swap going on, so he'll be able to join Rengar in that jungle should he so choose to double jungle. So that'll definitely be good for him. A lot more time to react to this. Vladimir already showing himself in the bottom lane, so they'll know plenty of time to figure out how they want to respond to this. Yeah,
and I think this is smart by Capital One, putting the Hecarim in a 2v1. It's already going to be a disadvantage. It's already going to be pretty tough for him. But then when you have the Vladimir as well in the bottom lane, who is going to have a really easy time in the 2v1, it's kind of like the icing on the cake. Like you win that top lane, but you also win the bottom lane as well.
Yeah, and I want to point out as well, right now the red buff being taken by Sejuani, it doesn't look like they're aware that Sejuani's in that jungle. They should be doing a counter invade right now. Janna going to be stepping forward to throw down a ward, and they will have guessed it at this point, so Rengar going to go right over to that mirrored jungle side with the red buff.
And Ibne going to be finally in that top lane just to soak up some experience. Gonna fall a little bit behind in CS, but that's kind of to be expected in the 2v1 matchup. And there is the there's the invade by Ururu and Silent J, taking away the red buff like you said before.
Yeah, absolutely not gonna let that triple buff get away.
Yeah.
Gonna make sure they fight that off.
Yeah, and one of the nice things about the Hecarim is that he's able to take the side camps pretty easily, even without the smite. So even in the 2v1 situation, he can get some form of income and experience from those Krugs. But they're, oh my god, oh!
Flash forward.
Yeah, Broseph really going in hard. Not enough poison to continue putting down the damage, but it's still going to be forcing away Agrias in that mid lane. Meanwhile, that top lane tower...
return flash.
Yeah, meanwhile, the top lane tower taking a lot of damage. This is, I think it's going to be a game of who takes the tower down first. And so far, Hydraxi and Silent J, a little bit ahead right now. The Caitlyn going to have an easier time clearing out the wave. And Vladimir doesn't really have a lot of strong wave clear until a couple of levels into Tides of Blood.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be able to sustain through most of that harass, but not gonna be able to effectively secure that CS under turret, though.
Oh, Ibne locked down. Zelibris gonna be able to force him away along with the help of Cross JJ. Walks a little bit too far out and gonna be punished for it right there. Hydraxi and Silent J putting a lot of pressure down onto William Brasky. Don't exactly find a kill, but they do start pressuring him pretty heavily.
And Vladimir is going to be going back in the top lane, so now it says all by herself with 3 members.
Yeah, and here comes Yuru. He's on the sidelines looking for something, but the teleport just completed by William Brasky. Now, the thing is, they have 2 members. They have the AD carry and support duo in the bottom lane, so they can easily pressure the dragon knowing that they have the advantage in numbers. They can't really do it right now because, oh man, Agrias... Yeah, that's a lot of damage. The poison is going to be taken. First Blood, though, still going over to Yururu. He's still sticking with the tradition of taking all the kills as the jungler.
Well, Rengar is certainly the champion to do that on if you're going to do that as a jungler. So, especially we see him going for the challenging smite as well. It's definitely going to be a combat Rengar in this game. So, fantastic to have the first blood on that champion accelerate that damage build so he can snowball out of control into this game.
Yeah. And as I was saying before, with your duo being in the bottom lane, they can actually pressure a dragon fairly early since they have the advantage in numbers. They are put on a timer. If Zelibris and Cross JJ take that top lane tower, they can rotate bottom lane, and they've lost their time to do it. So they need to make the decision if they want to do it, and if they don't, they kind of have to make this 2v1 worth. Otherwise, oh man, Ibne going in very far. He wants this kill. The heal just used by Zelibris, and the ignite not gonna be healing up fully. Oh man, Agrias, a lot of damage from those twin fangs from Broseph. Has the tier as well. That's going to be stacking up. And Agrias respecting the Caitlyn pick. Oh man, Hydraxi knocked out by the Arctic Assault. Going to be slowed down as well. The Hemoplague going to be ticking. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Ibne. We're not going to even see the rest of that fight in the bottom. He's just going to show me Ibne farming.
Yeah, well, Ibne is certainly going to have to back now as he was out of mana and flash charges. So we'll see how quickly he can get back to lane as his teleport is down. So that might mean that's a top lane outer turret going down if they choose to pressure it. But it looks like they're actually both going to go back. Yeah,
he does have Ninja Tabby right now. So, see, I think that's a mistake. You're supposed to... In the 2v1, you're supposed to get a clear advantage over the enemy AD carry and then swap back. But instead, they're going to continue the 2v1, giving Hydraxi a lot more opportunities to get ahead of Zelibris. Right now, the CS lead is in favor of this Vayne. She does have the Cutlass, while Hydraxi only has the BF sword. But with Yururu here as well, they might be looking to pressure the dragon. And actually, no, the lane swap, they just swapped back. They're not going to even take the tower. They're just going to take what they did. Ibne forced to take ninja tabbies, and that's not going to help him at all against William Brasky. So it worked out in their favor. But look at that damage coming out from Ibne, outdueling the Vladimir right now. Outside of Shadow is going to be up very soon. So once that comes up, Ibne wants to go for the fight.
Yeah, trying to bait him back out of position. There was a lot of minion damage that came through in that wave as William was...
There it is! Onslaught Shadow is going to be used! The Ignite is not available. Sanguine Pool will allow William Brasky to survive for the time being. Meanwhile,
in the bottom lane, we see that Rengar waiting in that bush.
Yeah,
full stacks
they
ready.
did take the first tier tower, and there's Cross JJ going in with the ward. They find the lockdown, and a Condemn will be knocking Yoru in as well as a Solar Flare. But the damage is there. Cross JJ, he's going in very far. He's not going to be able to escape. Here comes the teleport coming out from William Brasky. Hydraxi gets to come out to Silent J. Hydraxi still alive. The heal's just being used as well. What? The ace in the hole has been stopped, but it's going to be a double kill over to this Caitlyn Hydraxi, barely surviving.
Beautiful channel on the Q from Caitlyn to get Vladimir as soon as he gets out of the pool and prevent any spells from landing on her. One more spell would have been her death there, so beautiful timing on that. Yeah,
that was a 2-for-1 right there, and 2-for-0 actually, and they'll be able to get this dragon as well. Thurstman, he may be going for the kill. There's the Glacial Prison, but I don't know what he's thinking right there. Maybe looking to get the dragon with the ultimate. But that's 3 kills.
With 5 members there, not going to try and risk the cheeky steal, even though he did have the flash available.
That is going to be 3 kills going over to Microsoft 1. Was that First Blood? I don't think it was.
No, First Blood was earlier.
Yeah.
On to Rengar.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it looks like that Vayne and Leona are going to be able to shove a large wave into turret here. We'll see if they'll be able to take it. I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of health remaining on that turret, but it is cascading down. Vayne, left alone with the Cutlass, will do quite a bit of damage. Jaina going to get there in time for the shield, though.
Yeah, they'll not be able to take it down. It's a little bit under half health, but at this point, Caitlyn with the components of the Infinity Edge, it's not completed just yet. She's able to outduel the Vayne, especially with Silent J being there for the quick disengage with Monsoon. There's really little hope of them trying to fight them, especially with the Pink Ward. The invisibility of Zelbrus is not going to be helping him with the duels.
Yeah, absolutely. Cassiopeia also hanging on to her Pink Ward should these team fights break out and it become necessary with that Vayne ulting in and getting that invisibility temporarily. Definitely not going to let her sneak up on anybody critical.
And they're actually roaming to the mid lane, so they're going to be looking to take this mid lane tower down. Agrius going to have a tough time keeping it alive. The roam just coming out from Cross JJ as well as William Brasky to defend this. They're just going to leave Zelbrus in that bottom lane to try and push that lane up. But William Brasky taking a lot of damage from Broseph right there.
Yeah, so much damage coming out, not just from the Cassiopeia, but with that Caitlyn as well, with the Jaina shield on her, that bonus AD just chunking out Vladimir so heavily.
Yeah. Yoru tried to get a pick down onto Zelbrus, but he was spotted out by a ward, so he backs away.
Yeah, Ibne does not have the teleport to join the fight, so he is committed in the top lane to the split push and might be able to get that top lane turret for it, as it is full health, but he does have quite the minion wave with him, so we'll see what he's able to pull off here. It doesn't look like there's people rotating too quickly to respond.
Yeah, he should be able to get that uncontested, getting his team a nice bit of extra gold. There's the roam. Nope. Not going to be able to take it. Not enough damage just yet. And he has a...
Unfortunately, without that Sheen, he's not able to get those extra damage procs.
Yeah, he has the Ruby Crystal, so I think he's getting a Spectre's Cowl. Maybe as his first sight item. That or Phage, maybe. Goes for the Trinity Force. Goes
Yeah,
in.
perhaps leaving himself a little bit of flexibility here, resting on that Ruby's Crystal to just determine how the game goes here.
Yeah. Charge just used, but William Brasky has enough sustain at this point that they're not going to be able to... Well, he's not going to be able to fight him unless he goes all in. He is low on mana, so that'll be fairly unlikely for the time being.
Yeah, and it looks like we're about to see that blue buff donated over here to Cassiopeia.
Yeah, and Agrius having a tough time in this lane. Just the one pilt over puts Agrius down to half health.
Yeah, jeez. Well, so we see Cassiopeia opting to finish the Archangel staff before completed, only at 275 stacks right now. Still a long way to go before that transformation. But with this blue buff, she will be able to spam those spells out a little bit quicker and start to get those stacks ramping up a little bit more quickly here, so she can come online for these mid-game team fights.
Yeah, Blade of the Rune King just completed by Celebrus right now. Hydroxy is yet to go back and finish the Infinity Edge. Dragon being up in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Both the teams will most likely go back very shortly and prepare themselves for the next upcoming fight that will occur around the objective. Cross JJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, Broseph playing really aggressively. They don't want to go in onto the Cassiopeia just yet, but he's got to be careful. If they go in, it could be pretty devastating. Hydroxy, not gone back just yet.
Certainly being very aggressive as Bosef, trying to throw that poison out there, say, hey, you know, if you want to actually try and contest this siege line, you're going to have to give me extra stacks on my passive, and not willing to do that.
Yeah. Drag it up in 40 seconds, and there's Ibne going in onto William Brasky. Devastating charge, not doing too much damage, and actually that might just be Ibne getting forced away. Has the components of this Sheen, so it looks as though he just wanted the extra health from Ruby Crystal, and they don't get too much damage onto Cross JJ. He doesn't want to go in just yet.
I do want to take a moment to point out as well, both those teleport summoners are available in the top lane, so should a fight break out, we should expect to see both of them appearing here momentarily.
The thing is, Ibne is going to want to most likely go back and teleport in with the Home Guards buff, so he'll just get a huge burst of damage onto one person when he comes out. That's the most optimal play right there. William Brasky doesn't really have any way of stopping the teleport if it does come out from Ibne, so what could end up happening is Ibne actually waits for William to start the teleport, cancels it, and then channels his own teleport, knowing full well that Vladimir can't stop it. But there's a fight going down. Onslaught of Shadows just going to be used right there, not going to gain too much distance, and that's going to be William Brasky finding the 1v1 kill onto Ibne. Man, that is not something you see very often.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Onslaught of Shadows, like you said, used more for combat rather than distance, and he's gonna pay for it.
Oh man, Yuru going in, Celebrus has the wall go down on him, but he's gonna get sunned up by both the Cassiopeia and the Kaelin, and they will not be able to get this kill onto Yuru. What a turnaround, a 1-for-1. They lost one in the top lane, but they find one in the mid lane, and they should be able to take this mid lane tower as well. Here comes the Thirstman and Cross JJ. Maybe keep it alive, but there is the Erotic Assault. They cannot do it. They don't have the wave clear, too.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rengar taken so low during that last trade that he's going to have to head on back before they can start up the Dragon securely here. And it looks like actually this mid lane turret is actually going to be defended here.
Yeah, man, oh man, there's Cassiopeia. She hits the next part of her passive.
Coming more and more online as we get deeper into this game, Cassiopeia gonna become a nightmare for this Capital One blue team. Yeah. On the blue side.
So far, neither of the teams have really decided to go for the Dragon just yet. Ibne has the Sheen in his inventory, but he cannot fight William Brasky. Forced away by this Vladimir. That is the power of Vladimir. Component has the Will of the Ancients and Seeker's Arm Guard in his inventory right now.
Yeah, with all that AP and Spell Vamp, you are not going to be able to trade effectively with him.
Whoa, Silent J has a Magias.
Well, here it goes. This is the traditional Janna build we see. If you're in a Janna game where you feel like you're going to do good, grab that Medjai's and just let it stack, because you will never die as the Queen of Disengage.
This is
So
going
we'll
to be...
see how much that pays off for him here.
Yeah. So far, these teams have been fairly passive. No unneeded aggression from either of them. Each of them are carefully planning out what they want to do with poke and whatnot. They don't want to be put in a precarious situation that forces them away from the next objective, that is the dragon.
And Rengar coming right up bottom lane, might pop on the hunt here to try and scout out. Actually, not going to, just gonna get his stacks up off those minions.
And they're making their way to this dragon right now, and they actually started. Vayne Zelibris was going back previously, but they don't stop it. They just letting this happen. They had a ward on it, but they weren't prepared.
They will get the timer off of that dragon, but gonna choose not to contest this one. That Rengar, a little bit too scary. 1, 0, and 3 going glass cannon right now. Jumping into that might be ill-advised at this point, especially with the Caitlyn in tow, who's doing quite well herself. Again, as you mentioned earlier, with that Infinity Edge and boots completed.
Yeah, Yururu has the...
Scary.
Yeah, Yururu has the Hydra in his inventory right now, so he's really going to be showing Diesel, hey man, hope you're watching this game, because this is how you do it. You don't go Trailblazer, you upgrade your jungle item, and you get Sweeper. Come on, man.
You know, he was looking for a gank onto that Vladimir in the top lane, but unfortunately, speaking of sweepers, he hatched a ward in that Tri-Brush, so Vladimir knew to back away safely there, and is going to be alright. Man,
so much of this, like, a huge part of this game has been centered around taking that mid lane tower, and it's finally down. Let's see what they do. William Brasky, ignite down onto him, Sanguine Pool just popped as well. There's the onslaught of shadows. Can he get away? Yuru taking up this tower, and no, he's not gonna be able to survive. William Brasky going 1 for 1. Yuru, unfortunately, the casualty of that fight right there.
Yeah, unfortunately for Yururu, Ivne backing out of that fight a little bit earlier. Rengar, absolutely no hesitation, running straight under that turret and did get the kill onto William Bradley, but did end up paying for it with his life. That ultimate from Vladimir, the Chemo Plague, ramping up that damage so much that he's certainly not able to get out of there with his life intact.
I think that's just a mistaken communication right there. One said, let's get out, one said, let's get in, and they just followed what they said. So.
Yeah, absolutely. The pink ward going to be spotted out here in the river as the blue side tries to group up here.
And they're just letting Cassiopeia roam free to the bottom lane. She's going to be roaming up really easily. And now, when Microsoft One was pressuring Capital One's mid lane, they were providing a decent defense. Now it's on the shoes on the other foot. Capital One Blue wants to take Microsoft's mid lane tower.
And you know, I want you to toggle the vision right now between Capital One Blue and Microsoft One. Half of the map has lit up for either side right now. Actually, some wards now being thrown down in the top side as well to get a little bit more vision up there. But both sides have essentially either the top or bottom half of the map to move through, rather than the normal line of scrimmage being the river. So a very interesting setup here for which side can get ganks in picks in which area. So we'll see if the junglers respectively try and capitalize on that vision advantage.
Yeah, so far, there's the Zanyas completed by William Brasky, so it's going to be a bit harder to take him out of action. And with the need to see large rod in Broseth's inventory, I kind of feel though as though he's going to be picking up the Luden's Echo right now. Depending. He hasn't really been getting focused down in fights, but then again, there haven't been a lot of fights.
Yeah, you know, we'll see exactly which way she decides to go. I feel like she's probably leaning towards the Echo herself as well. with that Seraph's now fully completed, she's fully online and she's looking to become a nightmare in these upcoming team fights. So an Echo would just exacerbate that situation, and I think that's probably going to be the pickup here. But in case if there's a little bit of focus, we might see her going for something more defensive, perhaps like a Zonya's. But we'll see how this works out. As she is sneaking in this top lane brush right here, perhaps waiting for a counter engage.
Yeah, definitely. William Brasky going to have a tough time keeping this tower alive. That's just 3 hits, and they're going to go for the engage. William Brasky, a lot of damage. Heal Pick has just been popped right there. Can he get the kill? That's the Monsoon keeping everyone alive for the time being. There's the Zanyas, and William Brasky, Wild Growth, keeping him alive. He gets this kill. No, it's actually Agrius taking it. Broseph finally takes down the Vladimir, and he gets a double kill for all of his troubles. Meanwhile, a double kill onto Agrius, evening the kills up. And there's Evene and Thurstman in the bottom lane, meeting each other, both 4-legged beasts. Except one's a majestic unicorn, the other one's a lady on a pig.
Fantastic patience as well from Broseph on the Cassiopeia to wait throughout that engagement, hold that ultimate, know that Vladimir's pool was available, know that he was so low when coming out of the pool that the ultimate was not needed. Wait until the second person shows up, and she got the ultimate off, full stun onto that target, so she was able to just twin fangs down from full health that champion and get the double kill for her team. Great restraint there.
Yeah, oh man, Ibne, it doesn't look as though he's able to fight this Sejuani right now. He is trying to run away. The rest of Thurstman's team is there to back him up, but forces the onslaught of shadows out of Ibne. And with Dragon being up in 20 seconds, they could end up taking control of this area and maybe even getting the first dragon for themselves.
Yeah, a very critical ultimate to be down during what will be a contested dragon here, judging by the positioning for both teams.
Yeah, they are all spotted in a ward. Broseph does have Petrifying Glaze available, so if that hits a majority of the members, it could make up for the fact that they don't have Onslaught of Shadows available. There's the Miasma, just going to be used to zone them away, and this may just be them giving up the Dragon. Ibne looking to go in.
Together.
The Pokies, yeah, they're all grouped in the pit, but they're not going to go for the fight.
Yeah, Rengar shoving up the mid lane right now. They're actually going to opt to just trade that. They're so grouped still, though, that there's huge potential. You got to think if that Rengar ultimate were available, he would have thrown down the onslaught into that grouping. And
they're trying to go in. There's Broseph on the sidelines. He's looking for something, but they're going to be finding William Brasky. There's Yaruru. He's going in onto Zelabrus, but he's not able to find the kill. That's Cross JJ finding the kill onto Yaruru so far. Meanwhile, on the sidelines, Broseph going absolutely insane, getting those Twin Fangs down. He's going to be able to get a double kill, gets a triple kill, but he's going to be taken down again by Agrius. But that's a nice pivot over Peacemaker, finding the 4th kill of the fight. William Brasky able to survive, but his team is already dead. That was a 4-for-2 in favor of Microsoft 1, and they're going to be pushing down the mid lane and most likely taking this inhibitor tower.
Yeah, this inhibitor might actually go down as well. It was beautiful play when the Rengar jumped in from both Sejuani and Leona to try and lock him down and prevent him from destroying the targets he was going after. But unfortunately, there's just too many targets on this red side, leaving that Cassiopeia and that Caitlyn to do so much damage, focusing all their CC on Rengar. There's just too many targets you need to CC at this point.
Yeah, it is just, you have to, like, it's really difficult in terms of choices for Agrius. Like, you want to save the Vayne, but then even if you do, you have the Cassiopeia breathing down your neck. You have Yaruru breathing down your neck. It's so difficult to keep her alive, and it seems as though Thurstman is he's just leaving his team to engage the fight and trying to disrupt the backline, when in reality they need to just focus all of their resources except the Vladimir on keeping the Vayne alive.
Just want to make a note as well of those lane wards down the lane that has.
Oh man, Yaruru going in! 3 shots!
God, the Vayne!
He 3 shot the Vayne right there, man.
Start up with those Qs ready to double shot those Qs and then just get one final auto to finish her off. Poor Vayne, no time to react to that. That is the power of a glass cannon Rengar.
Yeah, man. And they're going to be able to push that bottom lane. They have to deal with the super minions coming in from the mid lane. And Ibane is there as well to provide a bit more of an annoyance. William Brasky, Cross JJ, and Thurstman are all there. They maybe can go for an engage. Hydraxy not going to be able to assist this team immediately. The rotation coming out from Microsoft One. I think they pinged the dragon. I'm Baron. They could go for it. The super minions are pushing pretty far into the base they're dealing with.
They have so much vision. Again, looking over just to their vision, they have absolute total control. So they will know if they come to contest this Baron.
Yeah, and
to know that they're nowhere in the vicinity.
Yeah, they could. Vayne just didn't even have enough distance to even put down the scrying orb. And this is gonna be the fight. Ibane. They're actually going to disengage. Wow, Onslaught of Shadows used to back away instead of engage. Wow, miscommunication right there. And William Brasky is survived, hanging on with the Zarya's Petrifying Glaze, though still using Hydraxy. Gets the kill on William Brasky. Yeru's in the backline, causing so much havoc, and he's still able to live with the lifesteal of the Hydra. And this is going to be Hydraxy finally finishing off the kill onto Sejuani. He picks up a double, and it's going to be a full ace. This could just be the game. 20-second death timers are there. Ibane is already into the enemy base. The super minions are there. They have the Baron buff. GGs are coming out. And this might just be Microsoft One have yet to lose a game this season. Wow, what an insane team.
Absolutely dominating games here. You know, that in that final fight as well, that Sejuani ultimate being thrown out, thinking they had a little bit more time on the Baron, but they just rushed it down so immediately. It really shows the clean, crisp team coordination this Microsoft One team has and why they've been undefeated, because they make calls and they go with them and they stay together and they get things done so quickly. The other teams just don't have time to react, and then you see games that are just so dominant, ending at 30 minutes here, 7-17 in kills. Absolutely clinic put on for display here by this Microsoft One team.
Yeah. So it is going to be a Microsoft One versus Amazon Prime 2 years in a row finals in this After Hour Gaming League tournament. This is going to be pretty fun to watch for you guys. Hope you guys join us for that in 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Be sure to tune into AfterHoursGaming.tv. All of the information for that last upcoming finals match will be available on that website. So definitely stay tuned for that. Again, as Desi mentioned, it will be a rematch from last year. Who will come out ahead? Will Microsoft One continue their onslaught undefeated, or will they have their streak broken? We'll find out in 2 weeks.